Mastering parkour is one of the hardest things to do in Orion Drift, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys all the stuff from the basics to the expert level of stuff in parkour. Timestamps will be down below, and without further ado, let's get straight into the video. There are 4 sections: Basic, Intermediate, Advanced, and Pro. Each of these sections have their own set of skills and mechanics that I am going to be teaching you. To start off with, you're going to come to the parkour district and head left past the training complex, through this big circle, and finally through this door into the master gym. The basic section includes paddling and floor carving. The first skill is paddling. To do paddling, you want to have your hand on the ground and just swing down. Make sure you're not going too high. If you're going high, you want to sort of bring it back. So instead of swinging straight down, instead of going down, you want to like slide it across, because in the game you can actually slide. So I have my hand on the ground and I'm not moving my hand at all. So you just want to swing back and make sure you're staying low to the ground so you can get your next hit in way faster. It makes it so it's a lot quicker, and it's the basic movement system in Orion Drift. Anyways, on to the next skill. The next skill is floor carving. Floor carving is very simple. You want to put your hand on the ground and rotate in a circle. So you just want to rotate in a circle. Now you're going to notice that you're not going anywhere. That's because you need momentum. So you want to run forward, put your hand out to your side, and just rotate in real life. So just rotate in real life, and you'll notice that you start spinning in circles. So you want to get some momentum and start spinning. You can't initiate a carve without your hand being 90 degrees from your body. So if I'm running along this line, my hand has to be beyond this line for me to initiate a carve. So you'll see that I don't start a carve until my hand is 90 degrees. Doesn't matter where I'm looking, just matters on where my momentum is going. Anyways, on to the next section. The intermediate section includes wall carving, wall climbing, and pinch climbing. The next skill is wall carving. To do a wall carve, you want to go up to a wall just like this one, a flat wall, and have your hand just up right above you. Because when you jump off, you want your hand to be directly above you to initiate the carve. So you want to just move it like that. So you'll move it like that while you're on the wall. So you'll jump up, and you'll start with your hand about here, and you'll move it back slowly. And then if you want to do multiple carves, then you can lift off and bring it back. So I'll show you a single carve. So you want to do this, and you can see I can do that. So you can see I'm just moving my hand along the surface, and I started about here. So if I want to do multiple, you'll see I'll bring my hand back. So bring it back, place it. Just bring it back and place it. And you can do multiple, as many as you can, but just remember, your hand must be 90 degrees above you. And when you're doing a wall carve, your hand is slowly pushing you away. Because when you're lifting off to do more, you're slowly getting pushed away, and eventually you won't be able to grab the wall anymore. Anyways, on to the next skill. The next skill is wall climbing. To start wall climbing, you want to find a 90-degree angle like this one, or one that's a little bit wider. So, you want to come up to the wall, and you want to have your hand a little bit diagonal, and you want to swing down. You want to give it enough force to where you'll reach this wall. So you want to hit down and just swing. Just swing down. Doesn't have to be too hard, like I can do it pretty light. I'm not moving it too much. And I can still get pretty decent, so you just want to hit, put your other hand, and do the exact same thing with your right hand. So just swing, 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 and you can make it all the way to the top very fast. There's a different way that it helps for wider angles. If you tilt, so instead of doing big motions like this, you could tilt your hand to where it's pretty much face with the wall, but slightly tilt it and swing up. So don't swing side, like diagonally as much. Swing a bit more like straight down, but still have that tilt. So still follow the direction of your hand. So you want to sort of, if my hand is tilted this way, I want to swing that way. So I'll tilt it like this and swing up. and you'll see I'll go up a lot faster. And you'll see when you go to a wider angle, it helps a lot. So let's try it on this one. If I do the side-to-side motion, it works, but it's a lot faster if I do that, because I can get my next hit in a lot quicker. This angle, however, you can slightly see it's tilted. It is impossible to do with the swing. You can get decently high, but you can't get all the way. But if you use this, you can make it all the way to the top. So definitely, if you want to master parkour, start learning that way. On to the next skill. The next skill is pinch climbing. To start pinch climbing, you want to find a wall just like this one, where you can put both hands on the side, or find a corner where you can put hands like this. I'm going to demonstrate it on this. So, you want to put both hands on the side, and you just want to swing down. So you want to swing down like that. So remember, with the wall, when we were wall climbing, we did that. You want to swing inside now. And do the same thing with your right hand. So you want to swing like that. And you'll see that when you start doing it, you'll slowly get pulled up. So you want to make sure that your hands aren't on the same elevation. So I'll have one hand up here, I'll swing, and I'll catch myself. And I'll do the exact same thing, and I'll catch myself. And I'll keep, as soon as I catch myself, I'll pull up again with this hand, so I can keep going up. The traditional way is having both hands and swinging them both down and doing an oval motion to bring them back up. It can be done, but because we have balls in our hands, we slide. So when you're doing the traditional way, you actually start slipping down slightly when you're going up. So it's actually faster to do that because you only have one hand on, but you're doing the same amount of force as if you had two hands. Anyways, on to the next section. The advanced section includes ceiling carving, pinch carving, and jumping through tight spaces. The next skill is ceiling carving. To start ceiling carving, you want to find a flat surface on the underside, just like this. What you want to do is the same as floor carving, but on the ceiling. So, you want to get some speed and jump up. And just make sure you place your hand on it. Don't place your hand all the way above your head, so don't place it when it's like here. Place it like just above your head, so that way you don't hit your head on the surface. Because you want to have it not up here, because if you do it and you don't move your hand, you'll probably notice that you don't have a long carve. And that's because gravity is slowly pulling you down. So to counteract it, you slowly push it up. There's not really a way to tell how fast or how slow, so just practice around with it and find that sweet spot. But you want to have it not too far above your head and slowly push it up, so that way when you finish, your hand will be all the way above your head and you can have an extremely long carve and maybe even do a 360 or slightly a bit more. All you gotta do is just put your hand, don't push up too hard, so don't like force up and push down. You just want to lightly go into it and start turning. Make sure you start turning before you hit the surface, because if you don't, you might fall off like that. So you got to start turning just a little bit before you hit the surface. It just has to be right before, but if you start turning like a second before or something, that's okay. Now you have learnt ceiling carving. On to the next skill. I am now in a parkour server, and this is the training grounds. It is 2 districts to the right of parkour, and this is where you can practice every skill there is in the game. To do a pinch carve, you want to find a surface, just like this one. This is a perfect one. You could also do it on that thin one there. But what you want to do is you want to put both hands on the side of it, and then you want to move them across like that. So you want to place it on, and then move it back. So remember like how we did a wall carve? We started about here and we moved back. It's the same thing, but you have to have your hands like this. So combine a wall carve and a pinch climb. You want to have 2 hands on the side and move it like a wall carve. And then just like a wall carve where you can lift off and bring it back, you can do the exact same thing and just do it again. So you want to put them on the side, just bring them back, and then you can always bring it back for more. You can do it on the very thin one over here as well, but it is a bit more tricky. It's a good way to challenge yourself though. still do it. You shouldn't ever really need to use multiple carves, so you should only need to use one. But if you ever need to, you can always bring it over here and just bring it back. Makes it so you can do multiple, but usually you can get the way you want with just the first carve. Anyways, on to the next skill. The next skill is jumping through tight spaces. To do this, we're going to have to learn how hitboxes work in this game. So, your head, your body, and your hands are a hitbox. If I put my ball out and I make it big, you can see my hands, the tip of it glides. But if I put it through the surface, they don't. So remember, when you're playing drift ball and stuff, your hands do collide. But when you're doing parkour, only the palm of your hand collides, which helps for going on these tiny blocks as well. So if you ever want to jump from a block to block, if you ever get to these tiny ones, have the palm, have the circle of your hand in the middle. And remember, if you're going from these tiny blocks, block yourself. So what I mean by that is when you're jumping on this side, make sure you block yourself. So have your hand here and block yourself. So you can go like that. See? You don't want to have your fingers there because then you'll do that and fall off. So that helps with jumping from blocks to blocks. But if you're going to go through a space, you have to make sure you have your hands in front of you, in front of your head. Because remember, your head and your hands are a hitbox. I also said that your body is a hitbox. But the difference is with your body, the lower half, if you look at another drifter, because you can't actually see it on your own body, but the lower half actually moves up. So when I sit down, it actually moves up into my chest. When I stand up like this or jump, it goes down. So pretty much, you only really need to get the top half through. So as long as you can get the top half above your heart ball and your head through, you can make it through any space. And you just want to have this and jump through. You could tilt your head, you could not. It's personal preference. Anyways, now you have learnt jumping through tight spaces or just jumping on blocks. Anyways, let's go to the next section. The pro section includes a Tassy, a reverse Tassy, and a chain ceiling carve. The next skill is a Tassy. To do a Tassy, you want to have a flat wall like this and a ceiling just under. Because the Tassy is a wall carve into a ceiling carve. So, you want a wall carve and then go into a ceiling. Now, the tip I can give you is lift your hand off of the wall as soon as you make contact with your hand on the ceiling. Now, if I'm heading this direction, I will turn right. So I will get into the ceiling and I'll start turning right. If I head this direction, I'll start turning left. And that's all it is. If you learn how to wall carve, and learn how to ceiling carve, you can definitely learn how to Tassy. All you have to do is combine them. And now you can probably guess what a reverse Tassy is. It is the exact same thing, but in reverse. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start carving on the ceiling and get to the edge. So get to the edge, and then you're gonna place your hand on the ceiling, and you're gonna carve like this. So make sure that when you do a wall carve, you are able to go this way and turn around. Just make sure that you're able to jump into a wall, place it, and then turn around like that. Because that is what you're gonna need to do once you get off the ceiling. So you're gonna get here, and then you're gonna wrap around like that. You can do multiple Tassies, and you can do multiple reverse Tassies in a row. But all you're gonna do is lift your hand off slightly before you start carving. So lift your hand off the ceiling as soon as you make contact with the wall, and it helps a lot. But that is how you do a reverse Tassy, and if you want, you can do multiple in a row. I don't know if I will be able to. But I can't do it right now, but yeah, here's a great spot to practice. But yeah, that is a reverse Tassy. The last skill is a chain ceiling carve. What you want to do is find a ceiling and do a ceiling carve. Okay, but next time, try and do a ceiling carve without turning your head as much. Because you want to be facing the direction that you're heading. So that way when you put your second hand up, you are able to turn. Because if you turned 90 degrees and try and enter the second one, you definitely can, but it is a lot harder. and usually when you enter it, you're going to want to stay the same direction. But all you do is you're going to do a regular ceiling carve and turn a little bit, and then get your second hand up and get ready to place it on top. As soon as you place your hand, you want to let go with this hand. So you want to like swap. So as soon as you place your hand, the second hand on the ceiling, you want to let go with the first hand. And then to do a triple, you do the exact same thing, but you want to let go of your left hand and put your right hand up. You want to make sure that you're pushing your hand up, but because gravity is pulling you down, you need to push your hand up. When you do multiple, your hand, the second hand, must match the first hand. So if the first hand is halfway up, your second hand must be halfway up to make contact. And then if the third hand, when the third hand goes to put it on, if the second hand is, let's say, 90% of the way to like the top, then you will have to match that. So you cannot do infinite ceiling carves. You can only do as many as, well, before you reach the top of your head. So, all you're gonna do is put first hand on, put the second hand on, and then you can do the exact same thing again if you want to do a triple. Double, and then you can do a triple. I'm not good enough right now, so I can't even do it 100% of the time. But you definitely can do it. You just want to make sure that you're lifting your hand off as soon as you place it. Anyways, now you have completed a chain ceiling carve. A bonus tip, maintain your speed. To maintain your speed, you want to carve. So, the extra tip is that when you want to maintain your speed and keep the same speed, so if you look at meters per second, which is m/s, if you don't know, let's get it to 12, right? So it's 12 right now. And look, when I start doing a floor carve, it stays the exact same number. Look at it, 12.36. It stays that number for the entire time that I do a carve. And if I swap hands, look, I'm going the other way and it didn't even go a different way. But if I paddle, think about this, if I paddle and I even just turn slightly, it's going up and it's going down. Like, it's not staying the same number. So what you could do to get even more speed is you could run like this. So you could start paddling, low to the ground, and then as soon as you come across the turn, you could carve, paddle, and you can just get that rhythm, and you can go a lot faster. Because carving on any surface, whether it's a ceiling, a wall, or a floor, it'll make you keep the exact same amount of speed that you left the wall with. With all of these skills, you may become a master at parkour in Orion Drift. Leave a comment down below if you think I missed anything. And remember, practice makes perfect. You will not be able to complete any of the pro level without any practice. So remember, keep practicing. Like if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button for more content just like this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!